In May, we spoke to Natalie Wexler, who's the author of The Knowledge Gap. And she talked all about the role, that both content knowledge and background knowledge play in both reading comprehension and assessment, really, of your reading comprehension ability. So, and we know for sure that it also impacts our newcomers, and particularly students coming from areas of conflict. So how do you think about that concept, the areas of content knowledge and background knowledge? How does that impact your classroom or your approach to teaching?
Certainly. So firstly, like you were kind of saying, thinking about those shared experiences, kind of going back to that, some of these students have never been to school. Or if they went to school, it may have been in a refugee camp, and it was just like someone who volunteered to teach them how to read, right? And it wasn't very formal. So we do have a lot of, as we call them, SLIFE, students with interrupted or limited education. We have students who have experienced trauma and have missed certain parts of education. We have students who don't have literacy skills, who don't have any background knowledge to draw on from their first language, right? So for example, I had a student who was from Afghanistan, and she could not read in her home language. So she couldn't read in English or her home language. So when I was teaching her how to read, it was like I was teaching her how to read for the first time, which is very different than if you're bilingual, you can transfer those skills from learning English to the target language that you're trying to learn. Even if the word order is a little bit different, you still have the skill set, that toolbox, that background knowledge of how to read. So that's the first thing. And the content knowledge, that's kind of a similar thing, making sure that you develop a curriculum and you develop activities and lessons that that are part of their, hold on, let me say that again. Making sure you develop lessons and curriculum that do take into account their background knowledge, right? So that could look like, if I am doing a lesson on persuasive speeches, right? I might want to use something that they know, right? When I'm trying to teach them about those speeches. So, let's argue about who's the best soccer team, right? My kids most of my kids play soccer. They love soccer. So before we even try to learn how to do this on what the curriculum is asking us to do, we're going to sit here and we're going to argue over what's better, TikTok or YouTube, right? So the things that they're interested in, that doesn't even have to be something that's their culture, right? They're kids, right? They're teenagers, right? So whatever they're interested in, and having them learn how to do that with something they already have the knowledge of, right? Because otherwise, if you're giving them something that's talking about, Johnny and Susie going camping, well, going camping may not be something that's in their repertoire. So that's something that you would need to take in consideration when you're picking out materials and developing lessons for your students.
Absolutely. I love that. And that idea that if you're trying to teach them, like you said, the skill, and they don't know the content, then it's a double whammy on their cognitive load, so to speak. So that idea that trying to engage, I love the TikTok versus YouTube, or let's describe who has the best soccer team. So those are all really, really important factors to consider.